for yet another change of pace. I'm going to be playing Dune Imperium, which is a really well done computer version of the board game of that title. And for those of you who don't know, Dune Imperium is a game that kind of combines two popular mechanical styles of game. One being deck building, which I'm personally a huge fan of. Partly because my daughter is one of the types of games that my daughter liked, and so she would play with me. And the other one is worker placement, a style of game that I'm perhaps less fond of, but I have to be very honest and say that I'm less fond of it because I tend to suck at it. So I'm just going to be playing here against the AI. I am terrifically bad at this, so I think that even the AI, I probably lose 80% of the time here against the AI, even with these settings. So I'm gonna kind of play through a game here, just to kind of show you what Dune Imperium is all about, and also because I really like Dune Imperium. All right, so this is the conflict. Every turn there's a conflict that's going on down here, and you can get various rewards for winning that conflict. We'll talk as I go along. I'll kind of talk about how that plays out. I am playing as Earl Memnon Thorvald. That's my leader. His ability here is that when I take a high council seat, I'll get diplomacy. And his sort of signet ring capability gives me a spice. So we'll see how a lot of that plays out here as we go along. So first things first, looks like I'm the first player up. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this card. I'm going to immediately work on getting some allies, but also at the expense of some water. You can see that water droplet. This is going to cost me a water. But I also I can use the symbol on the card which matches this symbol, and so this is going to raise my diplomacy with the Fremen by 1, but it also gives me 2 troops, and I'm allowed to deploy units to the skirmish. Now you can only deploy units to the skirmish when you put a worker in these spaces which are on Dune itself. That includes the diplomacy with the Fremen. So I'm going to deploy a couple of units here to this battle. I'm going to see if I can actually go ahead and just win this first battle. So we'll confirm that and pass it over to my opponents. So that she played up there, got a troop and a card. And okay, and he's also gone for diplomacy with the Fremen. So it is back around to my turn. So I could play my signet ring or diplomacy. It's kind of the two probably best options that I've got here. I think we'll leave diplomacy, and I think I'm going to go for the signet ring because it's going to allow me to, I'll play here, I'll get another troop, I'll get a card, which is going to allow me to draw a new card at some point when I want to. And I don't think I need to add any more troops here. I'm going to hope that she doesn't have a ton of things that are going to influence this combat too heavily in her favor. All right. And so Duke Leto Atreides is doing some spice harvesting. So now, once you've placed all your workers, you reveal your cards, and you're going to get blue. The blue numbers are how much you've got to buy other cards, and then if you have swords on there, or not swords, there are these weapons on there, that will tell you how much you are allowed to. Here you can see the weapons there. Those would actually increase your strength in battle in the skirmish that's going on. So I'm going to pay 3 for that Bene Gesserit sister card. Excuse me. And that is the end of my turn. So she did not increase her skirmish level, so it looks like I will be able to win this battle this turn, so that's a good thing. Although she just acquired a couple of really good cards. She had a ton of points for that, which is a little bit unusual in turn 1. but she looks like she acquired a couple of really high-powered cards there, which could be a bit of a problem. It's crazy that this Kwisatz Haderach card is just sitting there. It's a very powerful card. It's obviously costs a ton. So okay, so we're fighting out this skirmish and we're playing cards. There are some cards that you can get like this that would allow you to increase your strength in that. So I won it with strength of 8, and I get a victory point for that. Dun, dun, dun. And you're trying to get to 10 victory points. That's kind of the goal of the game before you get to turn 10. So now we've got the Siege of Arakeen. So that means that's taking place actually in this space. And if you win it, you actually have the ability to control that space. So I don't have a particularly great hand. I'll be able to do some buying, which is good, but I don't have a particularly great hand as it relates to my options this turn. So I think I'm going to wait until I have better cards in my hands. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play, let's see, I'm going to play to here because again, I don't have particularly great cards. So drawing another card isn't going to help me that much, but I could get a really good card here. So, okay. So it gives me some options there for increasing my diplomacy. And I will go ahead and take the opportunity again to deploy to that battle. It end my turn. So increasing diplomacy with the Bankers Guild. And getting some spice. And then he's deploying more. So I have these daggers. That's all I can play. So all I can play is on these green spaces. And realistically, this is the only one I can play on because this is the only one. I don't have the four sort of what are they called, Solari cost that I would have to for any of those other spaces. So I'm just going to get myself a troop loaded up for potentially for next time. A little bit of money, spending money to buy something. Next turn. And now we're hoping that Duke Leto doesn't have... Well, it looks like Duke Leto and I have probably going to tie here, which means we'll both end up getting 4 Solari. Which is not a terrible result. That's getting some Solari early on is kind of a good thing. Because you can... well, I'll talk about that in a second. So I've got 5 to spend. So I think I'm going to get this card. There's a lot of good symbols on it, and drawing cards is always a good thing. So we'll buy that card for, I forget his name, Thufir Hawat. And we'll end my turn. So nobody has any cards realistically that they can play here. You can see they don't have any of these intrigue cards. So we are going to tie. When you tie, basically you both get the second place result. And nobody gets the first place result. So we get 4 Solari. This is a really important Solari space because it will give you... Now we got the Siege of Carthage. It will give you an extra worker that you can place. This is also a good one. It gives you... see, he's already going there. It gives you 2 more to spend on buying cards every turn. So, let us see. I have no water. I was thinking about playing here with my diplomacy card, but I don't have any water. I don't want to give up this battle too easily, but the problem is I don't have a lot of troops at this point. Okay, let me just think for a second about what I might be able to do here. Let me actually... I don't think I want to play. I still don't want to play that quite yet. So I'm thinking I'm going to play onto this space here to get some more troops. I can spend my Solari for that. It's a little bit... I'd rather kind of save them for this if I had the choice, but Um, the other thing to do though is it doesn't help me this turn. Getting two diplomacy with the Fremen allows you to play into Siege Tabor, which is a really can be a very, very useful space. The lack of blue in this hand to place in any of these spaces is a bit of a problem. That's one reason why I'm thinking about playing here to draw another card. Ah, that's a blue space. I can't play there. That's why I'm thinking about it. Anyway, let's not overthink this, I think. Um, all right, what we're going to do, here's what we're going to do. No, we can't do that. Yeah, I've got so few options. I am going to, you know what? We're going to play this. We're going to get some troops. I'm going to go ahead and spend the money to get the troops. And then hopefully I will have the ability to, she's going to be adding troops now too. So she's going to have a good chance to sort of, yeah. It's going to be a little challenging, I think, to win this skirmish with her. But I'm going to increase my diplomacy with the Fremen. That gets me a water for that space. I'm going to get a victory point for getting to relationship of 2 with them. Then I will be able to deploy a couple of things to that space. At least I can hopefully compete for the second place rewards. And if she doesn't have a ton of extra combat to add, then maybe I can sneak that one in. But not if she deploys more. If she's going to deploy more, all right, well, we're going to lose that skirmish, but we're going to be okay with that, I guess. Going to be getting 4 here. All right. Good news is nobody else has got a lot of Solari either, so nobody else is kind of in. So since the swords really aren't going to do me any good, I'm going to take the persuasion. So I've got 4 persuasion now. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy this first. And then I'm going to buy this. So that's a pair of Bene Gesserit cards. They kind of interact with each other in virtuous ways. So hopefully that will work out in my favor. All right, so we're passing. She's passing. So she wins that combat. So I'll get an intrigue card and a spice. The spice will actually be helpful because I can use it to generate some Solari, which will be good. And I got this card, which at some point I can use to really sort of lean into a combat. So that's actually not a bad thing at all. All right, so I'm the first one up. So what I'd love to do is I'd actually love to get this here. But to get that, let's see. I think it's going to be a little challenging to get that this turn. But what I can do... I'm going to play this first, and I'm just going to grab these 2 spice. Could grab 3 spice, actually, if I played it here at the cost of my water. I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to just deploy like a single unit. I don't want to compete too hard for this because I really want to focus on getting Solari right now so that I can buy my Sword Master. All right, so doing okay there. Duke Leto's got a big lead with the banking guild. Not a lot of diplomacy going on elsewhere. So I could play reconnaissance to here, and that would give me the opportunity to potentially like reinforce, but I think I'm going to just leave this where it is. I want to play my signet ring because I actually do want to get that spice. Um, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to play up to here. I'm going to be basically trading spice for Solari. So I've got so let's I guess sell 4. That will leave me with 2 spice. And I'll have 10 Solari. And I won't be able to do this turn, but I will be able to do that next turn. So she's drawing an intrigue card, so now it's a little more complicated. She has an extra turn this turn because she played a card which drew her the Mentat, which gives you an extra worker, but it's only like you only get it while you're on that space. Or you get it, so you get it for the next turn, I should say. All right, so I'm going to get 5 persuasion and 1 sword. And could take Peter de Vries. Or I could take power play. So like a one-time effect for a good diplomacy. I'm going to take Peter de Vries. I like early on getting 3 revenue so that you can buy more cards and improve your hand. I think helps. I mean, it's turn 4 of 10, but I think that helps early on. So I want to get that revenue coming in. You know, he gets I've got no cards left, so he'll be potentially I can draw him as soon as next turn. If no one jumps on it, this is going to be nice and juicy next turn because the number in the right, you add 1 to it every single turn. So this would be worth 3 spice next turn, which is kind of juicy. So I don't have a faction alliance. Oh, I got to get a faction alliance if I'm going to play that. Okay, just noticed that. So I'm just going to pass. I'll get some more spice here. That's good. So she gets an intrigue card and 3 spice, and I get 2 spice. So not bad for the investment of a single troop, I wouldn't say. This is juicy too. Holy cow. All right, so there's going to be a lot of Solari on offer here. I'm going to kind of stay out of this fight and try to... my goal is going to be to really sort of focus on building this turn to the extent that I can. I'll let them fight it out. Ah, he took that space. I was interested in that space, but he took it from me. All right. So I am going to get my swordsman while the getting is good. So now I have an extra worker, or agent as they're called in the game. That was a space I was definitely interested in potentially playing too. So bummer that. That's okay. I've got other options. I do have other options. The water there is nice. I'm a little low on water, which makes it hard to fight for either of these 2 spaces. So I'm going to do some diplomacy here. And I think the diplomacy that I'm going to do, I'm going to try to draw a bunch of cards. I'm going to see about drawing a bunch of cards. So I'm going to spend 2 spice, and then I'm going to have to trash a card, which is going to probably be that reconnaissance card. But then I'm going to get to draw 2 cards. So, I'm going to trash this reconnaissance card, or should I trash this card? Trash the reconnaissance card. Alright, so I get that card. Dagger. The dagger's really no good. Doesn't help me at all. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and an intrigue card is kind of what the revenue I'm getting this turn. Which is not as high as I was hoping it would be. So I think I'll play him for some more diplomacy. But what diplomacy? I'll get another card too. Good. But what diplomacy? I think let's go for... I could either go for... I need an alliance. I need to pay attention to that. So I think I'm gonna get a little bit of water here and go up with the Fremen and try to get to a point where I've got an alliance with the Fremen. And I got Peter de Vries. So let's look at this. This is winnable at this point, but I still don't want to get involved. So I'm gonna get 3, 4. So I'll get 6. I'll have 6 to spend, which might be able to buy those Worm Riders. The Worm Riders, I love this card because if you've got Fremen, if you've got influence with the Fremen, which I'm actually trending towards right now, you get a ton of extra attack. And so I'm kind of glad I got 6 with that last draw so I can buy that card. All right, so this is the 5th of 10 raids. I'm kind of hanging in there on VPs a little bit. This is probably going to allow, yeah, these guys are going to start adding their swordsmen and their guild seats. Okay, this is probably good for me because I could really, that would probably be a good thing for me. Going up in diplomacy so I can get this card into play. So, but I don't have a lot of really good cards for doing that, for fighting for this. So I may actually choose instead to bail out of this. Now I got to be a little careful. Let's see. Oh, if I did that, I could steal one of her intrigue cards. Alternately, I could draw more. I could do that and draw more cards. I think that's what I should do. Again, I can see if I can get some better cards in my hand here. So I get a victory point for that. And I'm gonna, in my discard pile, let's get rid of, last turn I got rid of reconnaissance. Let's get rid of one of these cards. Let's get rid of dagger. So I do have another Bene Gesserit card in play. So when I play this, I can do diplomacy. And then again, I've got Peter de Vries, which is going to give me a bunch of... this could be really good. Okay, I got to play this smart right now. I got to play this smart. Stay out of machinations. Wow, that is a huge amount of spice. 7 spice in one turn. Holy cow. Alright, so I'm gonna play this because that way, because I have another Bene Gesserit card in play. So this is good. I get this interaction, and it's going to give me a chance for one more diplomacy. So I get a water, that's good. I get a troop, that's good. And I'm gonna go up with the Fremen, which is going to give me an alliance with them. So now my Worm Riders card is even more powerful. And I get a water, and I get a victory point for having the alliance with the Fremen. Now, nobody's really deployed here yet, although she has 2 turns to go. I'm tempted. I don't have a lot of cards that are going to add to my... I'm going to stay out of this. I'm just going to try to conserve my troops because I don't have a huge troops. All right, so she's forcing me to discard a card or so we're going to discard that. Okay, it's a very specific thing in mind, and I'll talk about what that is in a second. Wow, he's building up tons of troops, and he's deploying a lot there. So, okay, so right now I'm close to. This is my last play. I've got three revenue. I've got 7 revenue. This Kwisatz Haderach card is 8 revenue. So what I'm going to do is I'm play this dagger up to here. That's going to give me 1 additional revenue. That'll give me 8 revenue, in addition to another troop for next turn. So hopefully Duke Leto, with only 2 cards left, won't also get to 8 revenue. That seems very unlikely. And meanwhile, they can bleed each other dry on the planet. Yeah, he didn't get to 8. And the reason this card is so powerful is what it allows you to do is you draw a card, but then you also get to reuse one of your agents. So when you have it, it allows you to basically play 4 times. So I'm going to use my 8, and I'm buying Kwisatz Haderach. Very happy about that. We'll see if I have enough time for it to make a difference. All right, I need some more spice for that card to be in play. Win a conflict. Okay. So I need to get some spice, but I've got plenty of water, so I can go after this space. I'm first player this turn, so that's good. All right. And this I'm going to fight for. These 2 victory points I'm going to be fighting for. So I'm going to be kind of focused here on... Now she got a troop there because she already controls Carthage. All right, so let's look at how we're going to do this. I'm going to definitely keep this card in my hand. But what I want to do is I want to have enough spice so that if I have to use that, I can. So I'm going to use this to grab those 4 spice. And I'm going to deploy 2 units into the combat. And my turn. Okay. Let's see how this is going to go. All right. Now, I'm going to play this card right now. And there's a specific reason for that. This unit is on this space, so if I end up with 4 of these cards, I have to give them one, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to do this to get rid of something from my hand. And then I am going to... I'm going to pass my turn because I want to act last here, so I at least can pay it. I at least know what's going on and can then make some decisions based on what's going on. I can respond to what's going on. So he's going to get an extra turn. So I'm tempted to play this card to get these troops, but I could also play here and get troops. I Could maybe even potentially pull off both. And this, I could get a ton more spice. 3 more spice. This is interesting. Don't have quite enough people to do everything. I need troops because he's got 5, and I assume he's going to end up playing into this at some point. I don't have another Bene Gesserit card in play. That would be nice if I did. So I'm going to play him to here. It's going to give me a troop. Oh, I drew Kwisatz Haderach. That's, oh my goodness gracious. So now I'm going to deploy more. I need to make sure I save 2 spice in case I want to use that. I need to have 4 so I can take advantage of both of my cards at the end of this. Alright, she's going to get more troops. More troops. Okay. There's a very specific space I don't want someone to play on. Alright, so Duke Leto's going to have 1 more turn. Okay, so I'm going to play diplomacy here. And I'm going to get 2 more troops, which I can feed into this battle. I'm hoping not to have to use this Allied Armada card, and I can save it for another turn. So she's added 4. Still can get beat. I still can beat her. Should still be past her when this is all over. This is getting interesting. Definitely getting interesting. She's doing a bunch of diplomacy work. All right, well, that's good. She didn't take away my alliance. That could have been bad if she had done that. He is stocking up on troops. Big time. Whew. So now I'm going to play my Kwisatz Haderach card. And basically, I can, once I play it, I can send one of my agents to another board space. So which agent do I want to move from where they are to another board space? I think I want to move this unit. Or actually, I think I will place it here now that I think about it. And then I choose which one to move. And we'll move this agent. Okay. I'm not going to need that right now, but I do get to draw another card. All right, so I've got 5. I don't think I need to deploy units. I don't think I do. Actually, maybe I should just do this now. If it's a good card, I'll get it for next turn. Otherwise, I'm going to do that. I don't want to, I shouldn't have done that. That was a mistake. Oh, well, that'll give me a little bit more. I thought I would just look at it and put it back on top. I didn't read the card carefully enough. All right. That is that. So I will be getting, I'm pretty sure, 6 swords when I reveal, which will give me 20, which should give me the win here. Yep. And I've got 6 in order to buy stuff. Ooh, I wish I had enough to buy that. But I will buy this Fremen camp. And spice smugglers. So now we'll see if anybody has any intrigue cards. I'm going to pass. If someone plays a card, it'll come back around to me. There you go. So she is playing that. So now she's up to 21. He's playing that. So he's up to 19. That was kind of a dumb play on his part. And I am going to play this, which is going to take me to 27. She passes. Do you have any more cards to play? I don't know why you played that. If you didn't put you into second place, that was kind of dumb. So I will pass. So I'm going to get 2 victory points, and I will get control of Carthage as a result of that. That was a huge battle. That's about the biggest battle I think I've seen since I've been playing this. And then, having won a conflict, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to gain 2 influence with... Who am I going to gain 2 influence with? Let's gain 2 influence with the Emperor. That'll give me another victory point. Now, Duke Leto's in better shape with the amount of troops he has, so I'm going to spend a turn rebuilding after that gigantic battle for Carthage. Now, controlling these places, the good thing about controlling these places is if somebody plays there, you get Solari when they play there. Now, it could be worth deploying at least a troop to try to get the second place rewards here. But for right now, first things first, I want to try to get a seat on the High Council right now. Because then I can get a diplomacy. So I'm going to do this to just get 3 Solari. That'll give me enough that I can buy it. Neither of them is going to do it because they already have their High Council seat. Gonna delay here. Yeah, she's gonna start deploying. All right, I'm gonna stay out of that fight. This would be nice, I have to admit. I would forestall doing that. I'm getting, it's turn 8 of 10. Buying cards is becoming significantly less important. So I actually think I'm gonna do that. Oh, but I need that. No. I'm gonna buy my High Council seat because I want like the diplomacy. I'd like to get this victory point. That'd be a nice victory point to have. Use her to go up with the Bene Gesserit, which would put me in a position where I could end up getting an alliance with them, which would be worth 1. Or I could just try to do this and build up a little bit more of my troops for next turn. Oh, not blue. But I want to save his 3. I'd like to have those 5 if I can. Could play into a green space. Could get a troop. Now I'd have 6 to spend. Oh, I'd like to keep 7. because then I could get Lady Jessica. But I can't. Well, actually, that's not entirely true, is it? Yes, it is true. Sorry, I am doing a little bit of analysis paralysis here. Let's get an intrigue card and go up with the Bene Gesserit. Oh, and I also get to steal a card, so that was good. Okay. Oh, I got it. The ability to go up with the Fremen. All right, that's not a terrible thing. Because if I get up there, I'll get in a position where I will have that alliance, and he can't take it away. It can't be taken away from me. Yeah, she would have bought Lady Jessica ahead of me anyway, so I guess it. Oh no, she did. Oh, you did that. Took away my alliance with the Fremen. Now this card is useless. Darn. Might as well play it. Doesn't matter. But the thing is, so I'll move up, but the person who's there first gets the alliance. So she has that alliance, and I can't, unless she goes down there, I can't take it away from her. So I've got 7 to spend. Oh, I had 7 to spend. Weird. Oh, because my High Council seat. Oh, okay. Seven. Let's get firm grip. And now I've got 3 more to spend. Voice. And I'm probably gonna, yeah, I'm gonna waste that last one, unfortunately. Don't really have as many troops as I wish I did. That's for certain. She's trading in troops for a victory point. Okay. So there's a victory point available here and here, so I could get those 2 with some diplomacy. He continues to have a lot of troops. Alright, this is an important one, but it's going to be very hard. Okay, well, I've got this, which will help a lot. Oh, I don't have the alliance anymore. Got a lot of diplomacy opportunity here, but I've got to find a way to deploy some folks to the battle. So it's not super efficient, actually. Kind of don't have a lot of great options here for getting troops. That's what I'm kind of looking at here. Is I don't have a ton of great options for getting troops. So I'm gonna grab this. That'll give me at least 5 spice. And get at least 1 unit deployed into this battle. So at least I've got some troops in there. I think I'm in trouble. I think it was close, but I think I'm in trouble. Maybe what I need to do is, I don't think I can win this turn necessarily, but maybe if I play for next turn. think that's what I'm doing is I'm playing for next turn. Let's see. I'd like to do this if I could and get those troops queued up for next turn. But I don't have enough of that. I do have enough to do some trading, though. So I'm going to leave myself 2. Okay, that's a good card to have drawn. That's a really good card to have drawn. That is interesting. That might change the nature of this turn completely for me. Still have a lot of diplomacy going begging. So I'm going to grab these guys. So she's got 10. A couple of intrigue cards. He's got 8. So what I'm trying to decide is whether I should play for this battle or wait for the next one. If I do this, I can get 3 troops in there, which would get me up to... So we're gonna have Kwisatz Haderach there. And I'm gonna end up getting 5 more, which would take me to 7. I'm gonna try to get past him and get that spice. He's already played. A little nervous about what he might have in there. I'll be first up next turn, so that'll be good. I don't know. This is interesting. All right. So we'll reveal. That'll take us up to 11. So she's got a reveal though. So the odds are she'll have something in there. Let's get this because I think my path to victory lies through hopefully winning in the Imperial Basin next turn, along with some diplomacy. All right, dang. All right, but we'll still... Don't play something. Okay, well, I got second place. And I've saved a few troops. But I don't know if I've got it. Oh, and I got no diplomacy cards. Oh, I needed diplomacy cards. Oh, dear me. Ah, that is super unfortunate. Alright, I I can try to make this work. This is going to be tricky. Gonna be tricky, for sure. Let's get some troops. Hopefully I can make that work. Ooh dear, what do I want to discard? I mean, it's the last turn, so it doesn't really matter what I trash. All right, so I have a Bene Gesserit card in play, so I can play this. And that will allow me to do a couple of things. The first thing is I can go up in diplomacy. And I'm going to go up in diplomacy with the Bene Gesserit, which will get me an alliance with them, which is a victory point. Interesting. I'm going to draw a card. Then I'm going to deploy units. Gonna come right down to the end, isn't it? Right down to the end. All right. So I'm gonna play this now, and the reason I'm gonna play it. Wait, was that? Hang on a second. I can't undo that. Wait. Oh, it's only with the Emperor, so that isn't really as helpful as I thought. No, 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 no. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. So now I'm going to play these spice smugglers. Water doesn't really matter at this point. The intrigue card could be useful. It's too late for that to be useful. I'll spend the spice. So I get victory points, and now I'm up to 8. Everybody's on 8 victory points. And then I'll deploy units. This is going to be interesting. I don't have a card I can play, so it doesn't matter. Play it anyway. I don't. Reveal. So I'm up to 14. Would have liked to have had Duncan, Idaho earlier. All right. Well, she only got one sword out of all of that. They're not swords, are they? I don't know what they are. Combat strength. So what is he gonna? He's only got 2 cards, so yeah, he only gets 1. He can retreat troops. So it's all gonna come down to whether or not any of their intrigue cards are gonna change the outcome of this battle. Oh, they aren't. So I'm gonna win, and that should take me to 10 victory points. The last turn of the game. Doesn't really matter, but I'll take my spice. Oh no. She sorry. So she had a card that basically she got 2 victory points because she had diplomacy at 3 with multiple factions. So she just had, at the end, she had 2 extra victory points in her back pocket. So she wins with 11 victory points. I'm pretty proud of the way I played that game to get to 10 and to really almost have a chance to win it. But anyway, so that is Dune Imperium. I highly recommend you pick it up on Steam. It's a great game. Pick up the board game if you've got the table space and the friends to play it with you. I think it's a really fun game. It's something I've been wasting a lot of time with. But with that, we will close the video. Thanks for joining me. If you enjoyed this, let me know if you want to see me play more Dune Imperium. It's certainly something I'm doing anyway. I can just record it and talk over it. But if you enjoyed the video, it'd be great if you would leave a like, leave a comment. And if you're enjoying the channel, it would be great if you would subscribe. That way you'll know when we produce more content. But with that, we'll see you next time for whatever that may be on Agility Snip's gaming table.